Hello, my name is Melissa Blackwell, and I am a student at Aspen University in the doctoral program. And today I'm going to be speaking about the 5 types of social power. And with social power within the organization, there are different levels of leadership that have authority over others, that are able to lead others. And this is what we call the social power. And with social power, it's having the ability to set standards and norms within that organization, or even setting the values that are legitimate and that are desirable without forcing people, demanding them to do something, or even they may feel threatened. And so I want you to think about a need that you may have, a need or desire something that you need something from others. It's all about the ability of influencing others to get what you want, to get that desired outcome. And so social power is all about achieving those goals. And even if others may not agree with your objective, it's all about influencing them to be on your side and to set that is set within that organization. And so with the 5 types, we have the legitimate power. One of them is the legitimate power, as I mentioned. It's the authority to come that comes from a position or a role. So they have that position to say, you think about a hierarchy, and you have the CEO that is at the top. That they automatically obtain that power. So in my organization, I have several bosses that have authority over me. However, even though they have authority over me, they also have bosses that are over them. And so that legitimate power is all about the position and role that is that the individual is operating in. And the coercive power is the ability to deliver punishment. Now, hey, I don't like punishment. Nobody likes punishment. I don't know. Some people do, but in leadership, they have the power to to hand out the punishment. And this type of power is only effective temporarily. It's a short term type of power that one may have. This power gives the authority to get things done, and people may feel threatened by this type of power, or they may be punished by this type of power. So this can bring about resentment. You may have people in your organization, if they're being reprimanded about some things that they may not be done right. This may come into play, being coercive power, and so they may have some resentment within the organization. Then you have reward power. So this type of power is when a person has the ability to give rewards. That means they have a certain expectation. Okay, so if you meet this certain criteria, this certain expectation, or if you come in compliance with what I am asking you to do, then you are granted a reward. Could be a bonus, could be a day off. In my organization, we have like, okay, so we made a certain expectation. I may have a day off. I didn't mention I was a teacher, so being that I'm a teacher, we all like work days off. It may be a teacher work day, and they say, hey, we're going to exchange comp time, give you comp time if you meet this expectation. Or it could be as simple as receiving a Starbucks card. Everybody likes Starbucks, right? I know I do. So it could be a $5 Starbucks card that may be given out as a reward. Other organizations, they may give bonuses within the organization. The next one is expert power. And this is where the alpha dog come in at, and I'll talk about that shortly. But these people are within the organization. They are experts in what they do. They are expert in certain areas and certain knowledge, not in everything, but just in certain areas. Like for me, I'm a CTE business teacher. Okay, I can teach you about this business plans. However, I used to be a whiz in mathematics, but right now that is not my thing. So I would actually say, hey, I'm not an expert in this area, so I'm going to send you to Mr. X. And Mr. X, and actually I won't say who Mr. X is in my organization, but Mr. X is practically a genius. This man has actually written textbooks, and so he is able to help students and tutor students, and he's even tutor parents in the area. So he is considered the go-to man. He is the expert. So I would definitely send you to him because he would be the expert. You being an expert has nothing to do with seniority, but it's all about having that expertise in that area. And they operate in these roles and they know how to be effective in this capacity. The next one, the last one would be uh, reverent power, referent power. And I will also talk about this with the alpha dog later. This is the type of power that leaders cannot demand from their employees. This is something that you have to earn. It's about respect. It's about trust. And in leadership, you want to be able to have that rapport with your employees where you're able to build that trust. And respect within that organization. This type of leadership comes like sort of like a prototype. It's like a point of reference that people, when people see you in that type of leadership role, that they feel inspired, right? They feel like, okay, this is a person that I can model after. This is I like the way that they think, their thinking process. So this is somebody that I am inspired. So talking about the referent power, you have that power to be able to influence others effectively, to motivate them, and to inspire them. Next, I'm going to talk about the dominant social powers. And with the dominant social powers, it goes back to the first three. We talked about the legitimate power, I talked about the coercive power, and the reward power. And with that, that involves all suits of leadership. We're talking about the CEO, the CFO, the COO, and the CIO. These type of leaderships operate in the first social power. The dominant type of social power within my organization would be, of course, the legitimate and rewards. As well as the expertise is what really stands out in my organization. So I would say that in my organization, I don't feel like I'm being coerced to do anything, but it's because we want to do it, and I feel inspired to do it. So we got people that that are in the upper management that have their prospective places in their roles. However, and we have people that are expertise in the area and say, hey, okay, let me help you get proficient in this area. And so that's what I love about my organization. So next, we're going to talk about the alpha dog. Now, as the alpha dog, they are leaders with position, with power. They don't necessarily have to be a CEO of the company, but they have the power of behavior to create energy and drive real economic issues. Not issues, economic results. And David Cosolo, in his book, he talks about that. And so they see the possibilities, even in the smallest opportunities, while others may say, you know what, this is not going to work. They're going to say, hey, the alpha dog going to say, hey, yes, this will work. They're going to have that energy, and they're going to be able to progress even in those things that seem limited. These are the type of people that are determined. They are determined to get that outcome, to get that set outcome that they desire. And they also bring people together for a common goal. And so the person that stands out in my mind would be my curricular facilitator. I mean, she is an awesome person. She gets things rocking and rolling. These people are most credible, and they drive high performance. And that's just like who she is. She drives high performance. They provide insight within the organization. They help to move the organization forward, and they also focus on those critical areas, those organizational truths that need to be talked about. And so the three alpha dogs in my organization, I named the curricular facilitator. Her name is Jamie, and she is in sync within the organization. And as she has positively, and not only positively impacted me, but she also has positively impacted the organization. She has great communication skills when she's speaking to other people. At the same time, she listens. When she speaks, people listen. She is definitely a go-getter. She's about driving the numbers to help get our numbers up in our organization. And that's why our organization is one of the greater schools within my area, because she's all about driving those numbers. You can tell that she's passionate in what she does, and that she's purposeful in her action. And so her energy is high. And so that means that everybody around her has the energy on high. She definitely makes my job easy. She helps to motivate other people. to move towards the objective goal that is set. So I work in a local high school, and so talking about her as the facilitator, we have what we call the Falcon Fundamental, and a Falcon Fundamental is sort of like our Bible. Well, it is our Bible, excuse me, that we go by. And so, with the Falcon Fundamental in our school is created for the team of educators who believe, in order for students to be effective, that it has to be student centered, that the curriculum has to be student centered, and that also set expectation and a criteria that needs to be met in order for the student to be successful. The next person that I would talk about would be my principal. He's the top one. He's the number one alpha dog. So he is what we call in the legitimate power. That he is in a legitimate power, very easygoing person, but yet his authority. The next person will be Melissa. She's our senior advisor as well as our media, and so she's also what I call an alpha dog. So those three people that stands out in my organization, they are phenomenal people. I hope that you have learned something from this presentation. Have a great day.